in Audacity to determine that. It's just my waveform is not changing with that slider. In Audacity to determine that. It's just my waveform is not changing with that slider.
I guess the audio's on now, so we're live.
Audio Zone. That's the name of my.
Zone.
That's the name of my new boutique car stereo store. It's next to an Auto Zone, so it's a little bit confusing at times. But
oh, dude, that would be perfect.
That would be good. You could
people walk in there looking for carburetors, and you're like, oh, that's next door.
Either that or they think we're like part of the same company. It's like, no, we're not. Audio Zone, it's totally different.
You guys remember the crappy car stereos they sold at AutoZone? They probably still sell them there.
Probably. I probably bought one.
We have a store around here called Car Toys. Do you guys have Car Toys?
Yeah.
We have... No, not Car Toys. We have a couple... What do they call it around here, Jeremy? The car...
I don't know. I've only seen like little mom and pop, like locally owned things. I don't know about any chains.
Yeah, Innovative Audio's one.
Innovative Car Audio, yeah.
Yeah, there's another one. I can't remember it.
Can you get your 212s in a box?
Probably. Sound Warehouse, Car Concepts. Camry. Jeremy, you remember those?
I do remember Car Concepts.
You probably remember the commercials. You probably don't remember anything else about them.
I always wanted to get some of those LED
ground effects.
Yeah, exactly.
Listen, there's this dude in my neighborhood, and he bought one of those new Ford Broncos that I think are really cool. And he's like this dude that's like our age, but he put like weird LEDs under it, like ground effects kit, and like LEDs like all over it. And I'm like, what are you doing, man? Like
midlife crisis.
Yep. 100%.
Yeah, 100%, dude. Like,
I'm still hip.
And I see like people driving around on Teslas, and they got like ground effects kits on. I'm like,
that's just draining your battery, man.
Oh, I know, right? Those LED lights take a lot of power. Anyway.
All right, let's do it.
We should start.
What did you guys do on your midlife crisis? You guys do anything cool?
Oh, I started playing Final Fantasy 11 again.
Like last week?
I got into sword fighting.
Cool, man. I started a band, you know?
My roof started leaking, so I gotta fix that. Does that count?
Yep.
I guess.
Yeah.
That's a crisis in general.
That's just a crisis. Yeah.
That's a crisis for your wallet. I mean, let me tell you, I just a few months ago I put a new roof on this place to the tune of a hell of a lot of money.
If I have to replace the whole roof, I'm just gonna, because I got a quote from a solar panel thing, and they were like, "Oh, we're gonna just do your whole roof," and I was like, "No, you're not," but they are. I don't know.
Maybe they will.
Maybe they will.
When's the last time your roof was replaced? You got your house.
It's a metal roof, so.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it's supposed to last a long time.
You should get those cool shingles that are like solar panels.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Solar shingles.
Have those. That'd be badass.
Yeah, it would be badass.
Sure would, Jeremy. Sure would.
I agree.
All right. Welcome to YouTube listeners to the awesome pre-show that no one else gets to listen to.
That's right.
You know, I was just thinking if you're going for something that's badass, you really got to be right on target. Because if you go just a little bit to either side, it's either bad.
I would have the ground effects LED kit of Holmes.
No.
I wonder if that guy listens to our podcast and he's going to be mad at me.
Probably.
Dude, he's gonna like have his dog poop in your lawn and not pick it up.
He's going to have a dog.
He's gonna see.
He's gonna get a dog.
He's gonna feel all right about himself.
He's gonna have it poop in your lawn and not pick it up.
Sounds about right. Nobody comes into my circle to walk their dogs. All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Game By Show podcast. It is February the 6th, 2023.
The Ides of February.
The Ides of freaking February.
The first latitude of February.
That's right. The Ides jokester over there. That's Dale Jones. Say hi, Dale.
Hello.
We got Jeremy Lamont as well. Jeremy.
Hello. Hey.
Jeremy's usually the Ides jokester, but not tonight. Not tonight.
Dale
beat him
snaked
to
it from me. He got it. It must truly be
was-
the Ides, because I feel like I've been stabbed in the back.
That's right. And Jared Dunn. Hello, Jared.
Hello. I have a sword. It's a new sword.
Yeah, you do.
That's doing the stabby.
Jared had a midlife crisis and bought a sword.
I bought like way more than one.
Oh, man. Well, if you missed our pre-show on YouTube, sorry, not sorry. It was
Hey,
pretty
Jared,
good.
do you have a Spandau?
No.
What does that even mean?
But
That's-
I also have
Type of
this
sword.
the thing you do a ballet with.
Do you have a Sparta
No.
or a? I don't know.
You know what? You know what I would totally buy? I would totally buy a
Spatha?
replica
Do you have a Spatha?
of the Heavenly Sword
No.
from the PS3 game Heavenly Sword.
Yes.
But hey, listen, Jared.
Wouldn't that be way too big to carry, though?
No, check this out. Did I ever show you guys this? I've
Yeah.
got one right
Heavenly
here.
Sword.
Actual size.
Letter opener.
Come on, Jared.
Actual size.
Nice.
Of course, Jeremy has the Heavenly Sword letter opener.
Letter opener.
Of course. Like, what have you ever thought anything different? Like, no. Like, who on this planet of everyone you know would have a Heavenly Sword letter opener? You would have guessed Jeremy.
It's so cool too. I'm very happy
Yeah.
with it.
Listen,
How did you even get that? Was that like a pre-order bonus?
I don't know. I actually got this on eBay.
So he specifically went out in search of Heavenly Sword memorabilia.
That
I
thing-
found this.
That thing previously belonged to like Dan Shu of EGM or somebody.
Probably like there's somebody's got some
Yeah.
famous luminary DNA on there.
No, it's Gollum that owned it, and he sold it to you.
What's everybody's weirdest video game tchotchke? We know Jeremy's.
I mean, that might be that might be mine.
I don't know.
I have a when you reserved Metal Gear Solid way back in like 1997 or whatever, when GameStop was taking reservations for that, they gave you a metal cover spiral bound notebook where the first like 3 or 4 pages were the Yoji Shinkawa art.
Whoa,
And I've still got that somewhere.
that's cool.
Yeah, that thing rules.
I do have a Star Wars Jedi Outcast keychain with a lightsaber, so I've got all kinds of swords going on over here. Oops,
Guess
I'm
I
dropping
better
them
get
all.
my
I have
thing
a
out.
Titanfall 2 statue.
Hey, that's cool. You've got that. Don't you still have that Homeworld mothership there?
No, I don't.
What?
Have the I never got it. I was like, my wife and I were talking about that like a couple months ago. I was like,
I don't remember the name of this character.
It's like
The
my
guy
biggest
from-
regret in life.
Man, I always thought, Jared, I this whole time I thought you were so cool for having that.
That's Edward Kenway,
Sure is.
Wow.
Assassin's Creed Black Flag figurines.
the Devil of the Caribbean.
This
Hope-
is some more exclusive YouTube content.
Hopefully, will redeem myself. I am getting the mothership for Homeworld 3 in my
Oh,
pre-order.
nice.
Of course.
Well, there we go. We've
Of course
flexed our
you are.
nerd muscles again on our new podcast feed. Welcome to old and new.
Yeah, we need to
podcast
address
feeds.
that for a second. I'm going to apologize to everyone for us sucking for so long. Listen, we
Never
had
apologize for our sucking. That's
no.
We own
no,
it.
listen, we had a shared hosting plan on a shitty host, like web host, and we basically they got tired of us hosting all of our podcast files on their server, despite it being a unlimited all the things server.
Yeah.
Like they basically audited our server one day and said, "Nah, you got to remove all this." And we said, "Well, F you guys. We're not going to pay here and pay somewhere else to host our files." And we pieced out.
right.
But what that means,
Justly.
like they legit, our website was down for a day. If you guys frequent our website, which I'm sure you all do,
Oh,
for
sure.
all the wonderful content
Hourly
we have there.
updates.
hub of the internet.
Whenever you want to get to our YouTube channel, you probably go to gamebyshow.com and then click on the YouTube link. That's probably exactly what you do. It was actually down for like a day while I called GoDaddy. He was like, "Yo, what's going on,
please, sir,
nerds?"
please don't own us.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So we are over. There is a new podcast feed. So if you did not subscribe directly through iTunes, you probably need to subscribe again to the new feed. But there's a new logo, and we're
New
going to
album
be
art.
we're all going to be on Spotify. There's new album art. There's new all of the above. Ultimately, it's a great day here at the Game by Show podcast. We're happy to be recording. the show.
Unfortunately, same old
Oh,
hosts.
yeah.
Yeah, but
that's
this is-
Yeah,
something
nothing has
The
changed
most
about the
integral thing
content.
has stayed the same and very bad. Sorry about that. We do apologize for that.
Yeah, but anyway, thanks for listening and thanks for dealing with the shit that we had to go through. Listen, we had to go through it, and the feed is like got 7 episodes on it, so we're slowly rebuilding the feed. You know,
The worst part about the old setup was where you had to edit the RSS feed in like Notepad. That is
broke the
so
feed several
stupid.
times. I broke the feed so many times.
listen, young and
Semicolons.
really energetic Legrand web developer from a decade ago.
that was a
when-
cost-effective
from-
solution.
From 15 years ago when I started podcasting, young, energetic software engineer Legrand just built his own feed. And well, when we started
it's so
doing
much
this
better
thing,
to do it by hand.
is that what I said?
Artisanal.
Yeah,
Thank
you were
you.
like,
Artisanal.
oh yeah, you can
Yeah.
do what you want.
Well, back then there wasn't. Oh, there probably was. We didn't use the services that were available to us, but now we do.
It was a bespoke feed.
Yeah.
Listen, it was fine. It was fine. I guess.
I didn't have to.
Anyway,
do it that often, so
that's fine. Enough. We're not, and we will never talk about it again. Until next time, we'll probably mention it. Well, everybody, welcome to the show. This is the Game Bytes Show. Let's talk about some video games.
Let's do it.
I'm going to start.
Okay.
I've been playing Monster Hunter Rise almost exclusively for a while now. For like at least the last. I was going to talk about it last week, but Jeremy forbade. He forbade.
Hey,
me
I
from
forbade
playing.
my game last week too, so I brought it this week. So it's going to be a great episode this week.
Oh, fantastic! Well, I haven't stopped playing Monster Hunter Rise for like the last couple weeks.
Who says you have to?
You don't. You don't.
That's right.
And Monster Hunter Rise is a really, really good game. It's more Monster Hunter, which also means that it's awesome.
It rises.
It rises. There's a new setting. The monsters are called the same. There's like the same monsters, but there's also new monsters.
Rathalos.
There's a Rathalos, which I actually have a quest to kill, fight my first Rathalos. I did fight a Rathian. I have the full Rathian armor set, which is very cool.
Lagaya Crux or whatever. Is that guy in there?
The Jaggies have different
I
names,
don't know.
though. The
Jaggies are back. There's a great Jaggy. There's Jaggy and
Kurapeko?
Jaggy. What else is there? I don't know.
Is Kurapeko in there?
There's the cuckoo, whatever, with the rock that he hits you with. You know, who's that guy? The cuckoo Pelu cuckoo.
Cocopelli?
Is that his name?
No, that's.
Yeah, I think we're probably talking about the same guy, but I'm not sure.
You would recognize him. There's a dude. There's like a little bird with a big beak, and he holds a rock. And he smashes you with
and
it.
They like usually carry eggs or something like that.
Yeah, and you can like steal his eggs from like whatever.
Birdo.
Yeah.
I think I'm
Yeah. So the one big difference, I guess, that is really cool in this game that I really appreciate is, so you remember in like So my first real Monster Hunter game was Monster Hunter World, which was the last major big boy console that wasn't on 3DS, right? And in that game you had like a Palico, your little cat that would follow you around and fight with you, and you could give him gear, and he would distract the monster for you or drop you a heal every now and again or whatever. In this game, they also added a little dog that runs around with you too. And the coolest part about the dog is that you can ride it. And so traversing the world in Monster Hunter Rise is a lot quicker than in Monster Hunter World.
In the next game, there's going to also be an old lady that follows you around, yelling at you to stay off the lawn.
I'm down with that.
Actually, they also added a Kahoot, a little bird guy.
Oh yeah, I don't know what that does though. What does the owl do?
I haven't really got that far, but he looks cute and fluffy.
He helps the hoot. He's one of the two hoots. The Kahoot.
He's the Kahoot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing is the names. So it's the let's see. So it's Palicos because they're your pals. The dogs are called. What are the dogs called?
Nobody knows.
Dogs.
Anyway, the whole idea is that all
there's
the
felines
names are
and
like,
canines now. Like
yeah.
Anyway, so that makes it really, really cool to get around. So sometimes, when your monster like pieces out, it's like, yo, I'm going to get out of here and I'm going to fly somewhere else because I'm tired of fighting you here. And it gives you a chance to kind of regroup, sharpen your weapon, take some potions, and then follow after him. Well, the cool part is with the dog is sometimes you like beat the monster to the location that he's going to because you can ride faster than he can travel sometimes. Or you'll like catch up to him and early and start attacking him. So that's a very, very welcome change. The other big things that they added is something called the wire bugs.
Wire bugs.
And so you use the wire bugs to kind of zip around. So you basically, it's kind of like a little grappling hook that you can use. But the wire bugs also are what's used to weaken the monster so that you can ride the monster. And so they kind of put a bigger emphasis on that over Monster Hunter World. In Monster Hunter World, you could jump off of a higher ledge and land on the monster. And if you did it just right, maybe you'd get on top of the monster. And
it was like a
ride
prestige move. It was like,
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And I never did it on purpose once, like ever. In all of my time playing Monster Hunter World, I never could do it. And in this game, effectively, you have different attacks that you can do with these wire bugs. And in doing so, you kind of bind up the monster in this web of wire bug web.
Yeah.
And once you do it enough, then all of a sudden it says, hey, ride the monster. And you like hit him, attack him one more time. And then your guy jumps up on top of the monster. And now you're basically driving around a monster. And every monster has different attacks. And I'm sure this was the same in Monster Hunter World. I just never experienced it. But you basically have different attacks with the monsters. So now you can ride off on like this monster you were hunting, to go to find another monster, and you start attacking them with the monster, which is pretty satisfying. And then you can build up a meter as you attack, and then once you fill up the meter, you can execute a super attack with the monster that does a ton of damage. And it's very, very cool to jump on top of a Rathian or a Baroth or whatever and ride them around and fight other monsters with it. So I really like that they kind of made that a simpler thing to do in this game. It's kind of like a big focus of it is kind of doing those attacks and getting on top of the monsters and riding them around. Or you can also like run them into walls and do damage to themselves. So if you don't really need to go fight another monster and you can get on top of the monster you're hunting and run them into walls, and it takes big amounts of damage. And then you can, once you get off, the monster will be stunned for a little bit, and then you kind of beat the crap out of him. So other than that, like I've been enjoying it a lot. I've been kind of addicted to the loop. The gameplay loop of Monster Hunter has always been really, really fun. Yeah. And this one is no different. I've been playing a mix of online with just random people and just single player. It seems like they really tuned the single player to be more easier, I guess, than if you're playing with multiple players. You're playing with multiple people, the monsters are a little bit tougher, or at least they have more health, it seems, which is fine. So I've been kind of doing a mix of that stuff, but I've been kind of dabbling in weapons that I've never really used. When I played Monster Hunter World, I really focused on the bow because I got frustrated by being in up close to the monster and just getting the crap kicked out of me.
Yeah, so you can't do a lot of like move canceling. Like once you got one of those weapons, you pretty much committed most of the time.
Oh yeah, once you swing, like you're done. And so I got frustrated in Monster Hunter World with like I would think I was using the switch axe in Monster Hunter World for a while. Switch axe is my main. I love it. Or the charge blade. Charge blade is that something?
Yeah, charge blade. Charge blade is a thing. There's also the bone axe, or the big sword.
The great sword. There's like the regular sword. So I actually have not been playing the bow or any of the bow guns or any of like the ranged weapons. I've been playing. I started with the switch axe. I played with the regular long sword for a while. I made the big club. I think is what I don't know what it is. It's like the big club, like
the thing you swing around and around and around.
Yeah, the slow, really, really slow, but hits really hard and breaks stuff off. Parts off. And then I've landed on recently. I've been playing with that hunting horn, the one that buffs everybody around you. And I never had tried that weapon before in any of the games I've played, but in this one, it's got a really cool combo, and it also, depending on which horn you use, you get different buffs. And so every time you attack twice with your strong attack, it plays a song, and everyone in your party gets a buff of like bonus attack or bonus defense, or you consume less stamina, or you get a little shield, or you get plus to elemental damage, or things like that. And so it's a really cool item to have, or weapon to use when you're playing online. But it also works great just by yourself. Like it's got a really satisfying set of combos that you can use. The silk bind attacks, which are the ones that use the wire bugs, are really cool. And I've been having fun dabbling with that. So I'm about ready to kind of maybe move on to another weapon. So I have played the switch axe, I played the regular club, I played the longsword, and I'm playing the hunting horn. I'm probably going to switch over and try out the great sword next, because I don't really like the sword and shield guys. No offense, Jared. Not a fan of the shields. I like the big weapons.
If they had the buckler.
Yeah. Anyway, so Monster Hunter Rise is fantastic. It is on Game Pass. I don't think they have the Sunbreak expansion that they added. I don't believe that's part of the Game Pass edition. In fact,
I don't know if that has that come out yet. I wonder.
That's out.
It's been out on at least on Switch.
It's on Steam.
Okay, I just don't know if it's a part. I'm positive it's probably not part of the Game Pass version of the game. But I can't see anywhere on the Xbox app to purchase the expansion. Yeah. So I'm just playing whatever, and I would imagine I still have a lot of content to kind of finish up.
This could be like hundreds of hours long.
Oh yeah. And I did roll credits on the story, like as pointless as the stories are. Like there was a story about the rampage and these monsters are attacking, and I solved that. I solved that problem for my village. Good. Oh yeah. So my village is fine, but there's still these other monsters that need hunting. So I'm just gonna
that whole cast of characters was really counting on you. Also, as you're the first hunter in the village.
Right.
I'm the only one. I'm the only one that could really do it.
The chosen one.
That's right. Anyway, it's really good. It's if you have Game Pass, like, and you've never played a Monster Hunter game, just know that it is not a button mashy. It's more akin to the combat from like a Dark Souls compared to like a button mashy like God of War or Bayonetta or something like that. It is definitely a more methodical type of combat. But I think that once you get into it and you kind of understand it, like the gameplay loop itself is incredibly addictive and very satisfying, you're basically, fighting monsters, taking their parts and crafting armor out of them with different elemental properties or whatever. Same thing with your weapons. And so there's kind of like this rock, paper, scissors, not rock, paper, scissors, but elements that are kind of good against different monsters.
It's kind of MMO light, isn't it? But with a much better and more in-depth combat system.
The combat is really good. And the thing is, you're always mixing and matching your armor. So it's like, depending on what monster you're fighting, you're going to prepare yourself differently. And so you're going to go eat different food to kind of give yourself buffs. You're going to put on a set of armor that will counter whatever element the monster is. And you'll equip a weapon that's, that will do well against that monster depending on the element that it does. And so there's a lot of prep work going into a big fight. And that gets even more important the further on that you get in the game.
And then the cooperation element, when you're playing with other people, you want to complement and kind of play off of their strengths. And I mean, part of the satisfaction is when you get like just a crack team of monster hunters and you're all playing in rhythm and you're all doing what you're supposed to do. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, nice.
It's a good game. I would try it out if you have Game Pass. Give it a shot and let me know if you want to play. I'm down to play.
So do it. So you know how in the southern hemisphere you have possums and in the northern you have opossums?
Is that how that works?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and so that's where LeGrand and I are this week with video games. He played Rise. I played A Rise. The Northern Hemisphere version of
nice.
My game this week is Tales of Arise, which is very different for a type of game that I normally play.
Yeah, why are you playing a weird JRPG series?
I don't know. It was on sale and it was great on the Steam Deck. I was browsing the store on my Steam Deck. So I was like,
Steam Deck is going to make Jared into
I love Bandai Namco games, says Jared.
So
I always play these.
It is okay. I have some positive things to say about it. I've played quite a few hours. The combat system's kind of cool. Like I'm starting to get to a point where I can't tell if it's just has a lot of depth or they're just adding crap on top of crap.
Welcome to JRPGs, bud. Like that's the name of the game.
Right. So that's kind of where I am in the game. And the overall content or like the flow of the game and like the production values, they're fine. Like I like the art style, is kind of neat. It's a little cartoony, but whatever. It's got some flair to it. It's open world. It's kind of semi-open world, I guess. It's like you can go to different places in the world, but they're pretty linear. You're kind of like walking in an outdoor hallway. Which is fine, like whatever. There's like monsters to fight, and they're like, what really surprised me was it's like Link, the second Zelda game on NES.
Oh yeah, where you run
into guys on like the overworld. Yeah, that's what it's like. So you'll run into like one guy, and then
you can see him. It's not random encounters, right?
No, it's not random.
Right.
The story is. Okay, you're like these oppressed people, fighting the big bad guys or whatever. The acting is just too anime for me, though. I can't. And what it's actually done is it soured me to just like the production values of other games and the way they execute.
See, here's the thing. And I think we've talked about this before. There is no such thing. And I know Dale has a difference of opinion about this. There is no such thing as a JRPG. There are just RPGs, but some of them are anime. And that's it. That's what it is there's a genre of stuff called anime, and that's what this is.
So I realized the other night, because like I'm like playing in Assassin's Creed Valhalla in bed. Very different game. It kind of takes itself seriously, right? And it's like there's like dialogue going back and forth, and I'm like playing in bed on GeForce Now, and the wife's like looking over, just laughing. I'm like, it's ridiculous, I know. And so like now I can't unsee it. All these interactions in these games, I'm like, this is so stupid.
Yeah,
Tales of Arise broke me.
Yeah, it's true there, and that's why. But the thing is that I don't think the Japanese games are much different from Western games in that regard. I mean, I think, there's like plenty of that going on in the West.
For
Also,
sure,
like
for
there's,
sure.
there's a lot of crummy stuff going on,
So
and,
if
and so the really exceptional ones rise to the top.
they arise
They
to the top.
tails of
So
rise.
so if you can get past the like the guy who wears an iron mask and his name is Iron Mask, it's a little
Love
it's like when his parents named him, it was just
and it's like solid, and he's like, I don't know how I got it, I can't remember. Like,
I've
all
been
right,
stuck
bro,
in here for so long.
I can't even eat. Like, what?
I was born in the darkness. You merely adopted it.
Yeah, it's pretty over the top. But if you can get over that, if you can just like turn the sound down or something, maybe just turn the voice acting off, you'll be okay.
Now
The
that
gameplay
is a
is
sentiment I can.
the
I can
gameplay is
identify with.
pretty fun. I really enjoy kind of the combat and like the missions. They're pretty straightforward again so far, but I'm into it. I like it. It's great on
Nice.
the deck too, by the way.
On the deck, Game of the Year, 2022.
That's right.
Steam Deck.
What has the deck done to you, Jared?
What has the deck wrought?
It's done amazing things. I don't know what to say.
I'll jump in. So I've been playing something that I've been threatening to play for a long time, but
I could swear you've talked about this like 6 times on past
I
episodes.
haven't. No, that's the thing.
I
Like
talked
I've
about
only,
it once a while ago.
I've only met you.
did.
You haven't talked about this though, have you?
Oh no, I
Talked about-
haven't.
No,
Because I didn't like it.
So yeah, so it's different.
No.
So I'm talking about Axiom Verge 2, sequel to the greatest Egavania of all time, Axiom Verge,
Axiom
even
Verge.
better than Super Metroid, better than Metroid Dread.
Nope.
Axiom Verge. So here's the thing: Axiom Verge 2 feels different, but it's not super different. So it is a sort of lo-fi aesthetic Egavania game, full on homage to Super Metroid. One man, Thomas Happ, makes the game, makes the music. I don't know if he did the music this time, but he's like a one-man show. He can do whatever he wants, and he does. He does exactly what he wants with this thing. And the thing that I really love about Axiom Verge, and I think that it has carried over into Axiom Verge 2, is most Egavania games, most of these, they'll be like, your first ability is the double jump. You can jump 2 times. And he's like, nope, your first ability is you're going to travel to a pocket dimension and, travel, underneath the regular world map and come out on some other spot.
Subspace?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're going to be doing that. And then your second ability is you're going to throw out a drone, and that drone is going to be able to climb up walls, and you're going to be able to fly around with that drone. And then you're going to be able to pass through walls, and then you're going to be able to attract these rifts out of there, wherever they are, and magnetize them to you. And you're going and by the way, at any time, you can hack any bad guy all the time and make them either explode or join your team or whatever. And I really appreciate that about Axiom Verge. I feel like it is so smart and different, and it doesn't do those little baby steps that a lot of those kinds of games do, where it's like, now you have missiles. It's like, no, now you are gonna, whatever. Like, it's way over the top all the time. Axiom Verge 2 is a little bit different from the first one in that the first game you played as Trace, who is like this metaphysicist who's also an action hero or whatever. In this game, you play as a CEO of like a major corporation in the year 2050 or something, who has some personal issue that I haven't really figured out yet, but also is in Antarctica and travels to another world or something. They're sort of loosely related, but the two games are not overtly apparently connected. So for people who really liked Axiom Verge 1, the second one might be a little bit of a turnoff because you're like, where's the character I like? And what, how it's because it is really different. The aesthetic is very what would you say? Like very Indian subcontinent. Like there are references, like the music is very Indian. There are references to Mesopotamia. The world that you've traveled to has already had other travelers there who are now stuck there, and they've just started building their own little, like there's some Russian scientist team from Antarctica, and they just decided to set up a little town or something, and they just live there now. The abilities that you pick up are actually these like avatar entities who have been put into jars, but when you open them, they infuse into your personality. But then one of them turns evil, spoiler alert, and then you've got to like chase her down or whatever. And and there's different biomes.
Way farther in this game than I got.
Oh
man.
yeah. So there are a couple things that I don't like about this. One, really the main thing that bugs me about Axiom Verge 2, the jury is still out on whether I like it more than the first game. I think maintains a good level. I think the music is more sophisticated. The music in the first game that Thomas Happ also made was very like almost grating in some ways. Like there were digitized voices going, and it just wasn't, people didn't always like that. In this, the music is much more high fidelity, I think. Like it's still very Indian, and you still have like a lot of chanting and stuff, but it doesn't grate against
Is the main character's name Iron Mask? Because I exclusively play games now,
where Iron Mask is the main character.
Is the main character.
No, but the thing that this game has kind of rubbed me the wrong way is that it is very, it does not telegraph anything to you. So I have played sections of this game for like an hour and not made any progress. And for a game like this, that's bad. Like that's
why I stopped. That's exactly why I stopped. I had no idea where to go. I didn't know what to do. It wasn't leading me along. There was nothing directing me. Like coming off of Metroid Dread a couple of weeks ago, that was very
that led you
open and Metroidvania like, but at the same time
had a critical path.
Had a nice. It eased you into everything. Like there was, like I got really lost really quick on this game. Like I didn't really know.
Yep.
And it was frustrating. It was frustrating.
I agree, and I've actually had that. And I've played 1.5 times where I was just like, I don't know what I'm doing, and I don't know where to go. The thing that I eventually kind of figured out though is that the newest ability is the one that you're going to start using. So for example, this whole idea of the pocket universe, the subverse or whatever, it's always there in the background and you can see it. There's an ability that you get that lets you see the things that you're kind of doing and the things you're looking for. The map is very you can set reminders anywhere. It'll tell you like your next objective is B33 and it'll actually show a glowing thing there, but you've got to figure out how to get there, and sometimes it's through this subspace idea. And so what happens is I ended up on a couple of occasions just kind of beating my head against like, I don't know where I'm going. Is there some little place on the map that I didn't explore yet? And I actually made progress that way. And so I'm not sure if the game is set that way to where you've just got to kind of figure out where have you not been that you can kind of go now. And that worked out for me. And then I was just like flooded with progress. Like I'd be like, okay, now I've got like 3 abilities. I'm finding all these secret energy tanks. I'm getting all the skill points, and it would just kind of come and just like blah blah blah. And so then like I was cool with it again. So there was kind of this like frustration hump to get over, and then it was like downhill, and I'm like and then
I ain't got no time for that, man. I ain't got no more time for that. I did reinstall it though on the PS5, and I was gonna replay it or start it potentially. I also have it on Epic Games, I think is where I think it was exclusively Epic Games on PC for a while.
That's true. I think that's right.
Okay, that's where I have it, but I installed on the PS5 after you were mentioned it. I think that you were going to play it, so I'm like, maybe I just wasn't in the mood, but maybe because of Metroid Dread, maybe I am now, but probably not.
Maybe you were just kind of gassy that day.
Yeah,
The thing is, it's really hard to look up, because I tried this when I was not making progress. It's hard to look stuff up for this game in a walkthrough because
nobody's played it. Nobody's played it.
No, they have, but it's like all of the abilities are like these 13-syllable names. They're like Rama, Hasha, Vandra, whatever, and I'm like, well, I don't know what that is.
That's by design.
I just wanted the boomerang. Somebody just
think that would make the search engine optimization easier.
I don't know, but I think Legrand is right.
You also have to know how to spell it.
That's the problem. It's a lot of letters. I mean, seriously, it's difficult. But I think you're exactly right. I think Thomas Happ is like, you know what? I'm just going to do this because I think it's cool, and I think he did, and he's good at it, and he's got to be a brilliant guy. But there are some things where I'm like, maybe for those of us who are less brilliant, maybe I can get like an arrow or something sometimes that'll tell me.
That's what happens when nerd developers like just start doing their nerd shit, Like
I feel like this is like a John Carmack.
Yeah, if John Carmack was left to his own devices to make a game without John Romero, like what would he come up with, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Axiom Verge. That's what he would come up with. 100%.
So right now I'm in a wee moment where I'm like just feeding on progress. I'll have to kind of wait and see if I get to a nadir and then have to claw my way back up again. But I'm enjoying it so far. The first game I think was much more revolutionary, and I think that's just how it is with games like this. But provided that you are interested in something that is a little unorthodox, but still is really well constructed, and it's all of the abilities. It's like, how can you let me do this, my third thing that I unlock, and yet it is. There's still a challenge to the game. I think in some ways he's just flaunting the idea of the typical Igavania style game. And he does a really good job at it. It's just you got to kind of raise up your game also. If you're sort of more on the double jump level where you're like, I just want the double jump.
That's all I wanted.
This may not be the game for you.
Give me the super missiles, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, exactly. But it is up until today, as of this recording. If you're watching us on YouTube, you still have a chance to get it on the PS Plus collection before it leaves. Other than that, it's
that's
on
right.
various storefronts. So yeah, I played this because it was on PS Plus. So I'm playing this on the PS5, and
but wait for PlayStation Plus.
I was
all thought Jeremy was hyping buy, but no, hype and wait for PlayStation Plus or Game Pass.
Hype, but wait for exactly. Yeah, that's it. But still good, and I still recommend it to a certain subset of people, and I'd be happy to talk to you about it on our Discord. But Axiom Verge 2.
All three of you in the world would happily talk about it. Yeah. Anyway, I'm sure it's fine. Again, I have it installed in 2 locations right now, so
nice.
The chances that I'll play it is probably about slim to none. But we'll see.
Well, in the interest of moving this show right along, I can quickly cover the game that I've been playing because it is Mario Party Superstars on the Nintendo Switch.
Nice.
My kids asked me for this a few months ago, and I was like, all right, I just need them to do something for a while and be relatively quiet. So they got a new game, and but this past weekend I was like, hey, I need to play something new because I haven't, and I've got like an hour to kill. Let's fire this game up.
Let's Mario Party.
So one of my daughters was there, and she was like, yeah, let's play. And she ended up playing half the game and then getting bored and then handing it off to my other daughter, and she finished out the game with me. And this is playing like a 10-turn minimum
10
size.
Is all right, but I can identify with that when you have a 20-turn thing and you're on like turn 16 and you're like, please.
Yeah, let's get it over with. Because each turn, it's 4 players, right? Even though we only had 2 human players, there's 2 CPU people that populate.
Must play with 4.
Which, if you don't know, this game it's like a greatest hits of Mario Party. But it's like, I guess only the ones on the N64. They went back and took those old boards and revamped them for the HD era. This is the first Mario Party game I've ever played in my life. No joke.
Oh.
So I don't really have much to compare it to.
That's one more than I've ever played.
Yeah. Well, it's a little bit instructive because there's just a plethora of mini games that you do. So the whole thing is centered around a very basic, board game where you roll a dice and move spaces. And then more often than not, the action that occurs on your turn is going to trigger one of these mini games that you and 1 to the other 3 people are going to participate in. And they're just like a variety of different things. I think there's like over 100 of them in this game. And I would call them, they're like somewhere between mini games and micro games. They're like, they're all fairly light. And most of them are something that like, you'll get very quickly, right? And you just do them for probably somewhere between 20 to 60 seconds to determine a winner. And there's all kinds of things from like running around trying to collect coins while not getting hit by piranha plants from like a top-down view, to like there's like a weird Puyo Puyo, like a falling block Tetris style game sort of thing. There's one of those in there that I ended up playing, like because it was like the first to score 100 points wins, and that actually took a little while. It took like probably a couple of minutes or whatever, but I won that one.
Nice.
And there's just like a million other little things.
Yeah, like you count the Goombas that run by, and
everybody get on the one platform before the rest of the platforms fall away. That kind of thing. Just all sorts of random stuff that you. They give you a little practice screen for a few seconds before you start the actual thing.
You know what I like to do? I like to play it and disallow the practice.
Oh, that's
that everybody has to go into
that's evil.
Blind.
That's how you pull a hammy, not allowing warm-ups.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I could see. Let me again reiterate that we set this game to like the minimum amount of turns before it was over with, and like I said, we had to hand off in the middle because the kids lost interest.
Well, the game is very like it describes to everything that it's doing. Now we need to follow the star to the new place.
Yeah, it's very hand-holdy. But I get that because it is obviously meant for like a party of people to sit down and play this, and groups of people are famously ill-mannered and low attention span, lowest common denominator sort of stuff. So yeah, you want to keep it real dumb and you know, handholdy, I guess. But anyway, that's enough about this game.
Thank you.
Donkey Kong ended up winning. Donkey Kong was one of the CPU. So I played
the CPU one.
I played Yoshi. My daughter started off as Daisy, and then there was Wario and Donkey Kong, and yeah, Donkey Kong won because he cheated, basically.
Really?
It's
I
all
play Donkey Kong.
That's
every
also the
time.
name of the game. Like you
Classic
don't know who
Donkey
wins
Kong.
until the last end of the game, where
Until the
everyone gets
last
stars for
turn.
bullshit reasons, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, oh, you actually got the least amount of stars in this game, therefore you get 20 stars.
Yes,
Congratulations.
Mhm.
Yeah. Which is kind of funny. Like it makes it so that, you know,
You
I don't know,
can't try. You can't take.
You don't
it
play the game to
seriously
win. You play the game to play it. Like
to play the game. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is like the philosophy of Mario Kart, but like to its ad infinitum, ad absurdum. You know.
I think I have a Mario Party game on the Switch. I don't think it's this one though. Was there another one on the Switch already?
It's like, I don't know, Mario Party 10 or something is like the. This is the second or third one for the Switch, but this one is not the like flagship entry in the series for the Switch. This is the kind of like,
I think I have
HD
Super
remake.
Mario
Greatest
Party.
hits.
yeah, greatest hits.
Super Mario Party is I think what I have. Looks like a Switch game. It's fine.
Amazing.
All right, well, I'll move on.
What isn't releasing this week is Mario Party, but we have some other new releases from tech-gaming.com.
Yeah, but nothing you care about.
Nothing actually that good. It was kind of a sparse list, so I picked a few out. Deliver Us Mars from the same folks who brought us Deliver Us the Moon, which is, I guess, like an adventure game on Mars, whatever. And Spellforce Conquest of EO.
That stars Michael Jackson.
What?
So
Yeah, Michael Jackson.
No,
That would be so great.
So Spellforce is classically a RPG, action RPG / RTS hybrid. This game is more of an RPG / turn-based strategy game hybrid. So kind of interesting if you're into the Spellforce series. Leaked new Destiny guns, allegedly.
Ooh, can't
.com / Podbean. Yeah. No, these are brand new, fresh off the press, I guess. Braves Rage.
Braves,
All right, I
Rage,
like it.
Yeesh.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's like a
Definitely
Titan
shotgun.
gun.
Yeah, it's got to be just like it's Braves Rage. It's actually gauntlets for punching.
Oh, cool. I like it. All right.
And the Pathless.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Void
Sniper rifle.
sidearm.
Yeah, absolutely. That sounds
Like,
very
yes, whatever you guys said, that's it.
Mhm.
exactly. For deals and freebies, the Steam Next Fest is going on now. So a whole bunch of demos of games soon to release. Go check them out. There's some pretty cool ones, including Darkest Dungeon 2.
You know, I always, because Dale was like interested at one point in Darkest Dungeon. So now whenever there's Darkest Dungeon stuff, I'm always like, hey, Dale, Darkest
Hey,
Dungeon.
remember that game that you
Dale's
loved?
like,
And
yeah,
Dale's like,
He's like, I'm not interested in that for 5 years. What are you talking about?
No,
PS
I'm still interested in it.
PS Plus games for
I'm
February.
interested in this.
Mafia Definitive Edition, Ollie Ollie World, Evil Dead the Game, and Destiny 2 Beyond Light. You can go check those guns out yourself.
Ooh, get those guns.
That's right. And
I wonder. So here's what I wonder about that. Since I've been playing mostly on PC, can I like get that on the PlayStation and my character links and carries over, so I can sort of get the benefit of my PS Plus thing with my general character?
So you have to ask somebody who cares about Destiny.
That's a good
Okay,
point. All right,
okay.
we'll move it along.
So here's my experience on cross-platform with Destiny 2.
Oh shit, we do have some experience here.
PC and Stadia were two separate platforms. So
But everything else.
I had bought the game, like the latest expansions on PC, and so I could play on Steam or wherever. Now, if I logged into Stadia, I played my same characters, but I couldn't play the
but you didn't
expansion
get your
content.
Well, then I'm glad Stadia's gone.
That's right.
Stupid Stadia.
Yeah, screw those guys.
Yeah. But their controllers are all right.
Dude, I jailbroke or they like put out that tool to
Yeah,
make
they
it
did.
Bluetooth.
You
Yeah.
jailbroke it, dude. They totally updated it for you. Like,
that's
look,
what
I
I did.
jailbroke this.
Well, whatever you call it.
I jailbroke it.
That's what you did. You broke the software to
Totally
make it
hacked my
sync.
Stadia controller
I
with the software
jailbroke
they
Stadia. It's
provided.
gone now.
Yep. Over on Epic, you can pick up
Shame.
A City of Gangsters and Dishonored: Death of the Outsider for free.
Nice. Very good. Over in the news, we've kind of got a theme running this week, and the theme is stuff goes away, unfortunately. So first off, kind of the biggest thing that I've got here is that the PlayStation Plus Instant Game Collection, which we have enjoyed these many years, is going away. And those of you who, I mean, it's probably been a couple years since you added these to your collection, but PlayStation has a standing library of 15, 16 some odd games, including all kinds of stuff. Resident Evil 7,
God of War.
Crash. Yeah, God of War, the 2018 God of War, Days Gone, Monster Hunter World is on there, Ratchet and Clank. Actually, a bunch of really good software is on there. But starting on May 9th, Bloodborne is on there, Detroit Become Human, a lot of first-party stuff. The Last Guardian is on there. Last of Us Remastered is on there.
Wasn't this only available to people who had PS5s, or was it the PS4 thing as well?
I don't remember, actually.
I think it was just a PS5 thing, and that was kind of like their way to say, hey, buy a PS5 and get all these games.
Yeah, because it's totally backwards compatible with the PS4. So these are like the PS4 games that you can get for the PS5. But anyway, one thing Legrand was looking at beforehand is how many of these are on the new PS Plus tiers, and most of them, if not all of them, are. So I think the idea here is they're just kind of folding. They're up. What do you call it? Upscaling they want you to subscribe to their service, basically.
Yeah, when they started this, the new PlayStation Plus didn't exist. And so now that it exists, they're like, okay, sorry, nerds, so you don't get this anymore.
Yeah. So if you add them to your account, they are on your account. They're not part of any subscription service, but that only goes through May 9th.
So you just add them to your account, and you get to keep them? Is that the deal?
As far as I know. Yeah, because people were getting them, and I mean, it's just added to your library, so it's not part of... Sony doesn't do that.
Do you have to maintain your PlayStation Plus account?
I don't think so. I don't believe so. Yeah, because the way Xbox was doing it was if you got any of their Xbox One games as part of Games with Gold, you would have to maintain that. And if you
but these aren't Games with Gold, though. This is a PlayStation Plus collection.
Exactly. So that in contrast, this was, you would just get them and you would get them. So, yeah. So on that note, Microsoft, though, is delisting a bunch of Xbox 360 games from the Xbox Live Marketplace. And that includes a few, culturally significant RPGs, including Blue Dragon, which is the...
like a launch title, wasn't it?
Well, I don't know if it was a launch title.
Shortly after. It was like a 2007-ish.
Yeah. But it was, I think Akira Toriyama was the guy who did that. Maybe it was someone else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, something like that. And also Lost Odyssey and all kinds of things.
Oh, Lost Odyssey was good. I like that game.
Yeah. So, and some of them are pretty inexpensive now, but
these were never digital only, though. I mean, they were, they're hard copies of these games.
Correct. These predated the digital future that we live in now. But it's not to say that they couldn't bring them back. It's kind of hard to say right now. So if you're nervous about it,
it says here that they're still available on Xbox Series X and also Xbox One. You just can't get them from the Xbox 360 marketplace.
Store. Okay, there we go.
Which, I mean, let's commend these guys, because next month the 3DS eShop is going away. The Wii U eShop is also going away.
Right. Meaning that the software is no longer available anywhere.
Right, you can still download it, you just can't buy it anymore. And so, I mean, we're talking 2 console generations back that we're still supporting the marketplace, which other console, like the Vita marketplace, is gone.
But by the Retronauts podcast standard, these are retro games, and they're still supporting them. So there's
correct.
Yeah,
that's what I'm trying to say. Is it had a good run. Again, they're still available on more modern Xbox consoles, which is a good thing, I guess. It's not like you can't play these games. So
that's true. Also going away, a couple of games that have come out, one of them in the last 6 months. So these are some online games, including Knockout City, which is a dodgeball multiplayer game that was an Electronic Arts joint. There was also Rumbleverse, which I think is the one that came out 6 months ago, something like that, which was a battle royale melee rather than guns kind of game. A couple of other things over at EA. Axiom Verge. Apex Legends mobile.
Apex Legends.
Yeah, I was trying to think what that was called. And then also the Call of Duty mobile.
Battlefield.
Or not Call of Duty,
Not Call of
Battlefield.
Duty.
Battlefield mobile. Yeah, for some reason my link didn't load up, so I'm going from memory here. But those things are shutting down, and again, some of them just in the last year or so that they've come out. So
I didn't even know that Apex Legends or Battlefield had a mobile game.
yeah, I actually
had
wanted
that
to try them.
same exact thought when I read this list.
Well,
So you wonder why they're shutting down, because people like us who literally talk about video games on a podcast every week don't know that these games exist.
Yeah.
I mean, it's probably a problem with your marketing.
That's right. But we mentioned a little bit earlier John Carmack being kind of a weird, Asperger's kind of developer, but he does have some, I don't know. Sorry, if someone out there is offended by that, let me know. I apologize. But the Echo VR metaverse feature is shutting down. So he wasn't talking necessarily about all of this stuff, but he had some feelings about the idea of shutting things down, even if there are a very limited number of users. He says that for him, a major focus for him is to maximize user value and to not take away from those things. He says that you should be disciplined about your process, plan ahead for stuff like this, and basically not denigrate the user experience at any point. Rather than killing something, do things like spin it off into other services. Or one of the things that the Knockout City is going to do is they're going to actually allow user servers so that you can actually continue to play the game.
That's what needs to happen for all of this stuff.
Yeah, agreed.
It should happen for everything.
I agree with that. I agree with that. He says that he's very much into just, and I have to be a little bit careful with this because I understand what he's saying here, but he says, I want to preserve everything. And I think on some level they're, I don't know. Carmack is a smart guy, but it seems like, maybe.
Some things can be lost, like tears in rain.
Like tears in the rain. Absolutely. C-beams sparkling at the Tannhauser Gate. All of that.
C-beams.
Yeah, all of them. That's kind of just a theme for this week, is a lot of stuff kind of going away and shutting down. Similarly, kind of adjacent to that, Bloomberg asserted in a report that Sony had cut production on the PSVR 2 based on disappointing pre-order numbers. I believe here they said that they had forecast 2 million units down to 1 million units, and which the thing is expensive. It's more than the cost of the PS5 itself. So I can understand that it's not, I'm very hyped, but not pre-order on PSVR 2. But Sony came back and said that they have not halved their production, their production machine.
Sony responded by saying,
Yeah, no, you. But they've actually said that they're seeing strong enthusiasm from PlayStation fans for upcoming launch, which will include more than 30 titles such as Gran Turismo 7, Horizon Call of the Mountain, and Resident Evil Village. But the thing is, it's $550 to get the thing. So, and none of the old software is going to work on it.
I'm hyped, but wait for the killer app. I don't know. I want to try it out.
Yeah, me too.
And I may have some extra cash burning holes in my pocket that may go to a Steam Deck, but may go to a PSVR too. I don't know.
Steam Deck, the gift that keeps on giving.
That's true. It's true. Last item of news I've got here in Big Boy News is that the DICE Awards are coming up here, and Tim Schafer is being inducted to the AIAS, that's the Academy of Interactive Arts and Sciences Hall of Fame. Of course, Tim Schafer, famous for starting out with LucasArts Games, doing a lot of point-and-click adventures and sort of comedy games. More recently, Double Fine, doing things like Psychonauts and Brutal Legend and Broken Age and all kinds of things. And he's going to join people like Ed Boon from NetherRealm. Todd Howard is in there. Hideo Kojima was there from a few years ago. Dan Houser, co-founder of Rockstar Games. Sam Houser, also that same year. Gabe Newell is there. Greg Zeschuk and Ray Musica from BioWare. Peter Molyneux from 2004. So they've been doing this, it looks like, going back to 1998. The inaugural inductee, it looks like here, is Shigeru Miyamoto in 1998, Sid Meier 1999. Hironobu Sakaguchi, whose game is being delisted from Xbox 360 storefront. Anyway, so he's, yeah, exactly. So pretty credible selection. Kind of looking over here, I don't know that I see anybody that jumps out at me. Mark Cerny's on here. Michael Morheim from Blizzard. Richard Garriott's on here. Trip Hawkins.
I feel like Schaefer belongs on that list.
Yeah, I think that's
The stuff he's done, I think, is
Call me when Cliff Blazinski gets added, you know?
Yeah, that's true too.
Cliffy B, boy.
That's true too. Yeah. So this year, we have Tim Schafer getting his shots, but some years it looks like they've done a couple of guys. So it looks like if you are part of a dynamic duo or something like that, like the BioWare Doctors or the Hausers, you can get in there with a couple of guys.
Is John Romero in there?
I don't see John Romero in here.
Or Carmack and Romero?
Maybe let me just double check it here. Romero does not appear in the list.
Tim Sweeney's in there.
Tim Sweeney's on there. Yeah.
So whenever Romero does get inducted, though, you know they're gonna have to call back to the he's gonna make you his bitch line, right?
No.
John Romero is about to make AIAS his bitch.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Anyway, that's going to do it for our big boy news this week, but we're going to round out the show with our snooze speed run. Start that music.
Did you say snooze speed run? You said snooze.
Speed run.
Let's see here. EA has reportedly canceled a unannounced Titanfall single player game.
This is why we can't have nice things.
Can't believe it.
It was Titanfall Mobile.
It was Titanfall 3. It was going to be
I hope it was
awesome.
Titanfall Mobile. It better not have been Titanfall 3.
Sony is rolling out Discord voice chat for the PlayStation 5.
A lot of people seem excited about that, but I'm sort of like, well,
Who uses Discord
On PlayStation.
voice
I will
chat?
tell you
Not this
why.
podcast.
I will tell you, people who use crossplay with console and PC will be able to use Discord with PC players because PC players don't use in-game chat; they use Discord.
Right.
all right.
So I have a buddy who just got a PS5, and he's been playing Overwatch with PC players, including some of my friends, and looking forward to having Discord. back.
He's
I
like on
think it's valid.
Discord, like on his phone.
Nice.
Probably, I don't know, but again,
I've done
like,
that.
I think it's a valid thing, especially as crossplay becomes more and more prevalent in games.
Yeah.
I think it's
Yeah.
valid. I hate that it's news.
True.
Just do it,
True.
y'all.
Well-
we'll call that one snooze instead of
Speaking
news.
of news, the first ever video game Grammy Award has gone to Assassin's Creed Valhalla and Ragnarok, or Valhalla colon Ragnarok.
Colin Ragnarok.
No, it's the
that's
expansion.
I saw the news. The composer for that, she got the Grammy, which was
Yeah.
pretty
That's
cool.
That's
That is
awesome,
cool.
actually.
Blizzard has been dealing with cheaters in Overwatch 2, and they have quote unquote actioned over 50,000 accounts for cheating in Overwatch 2. And they are so fed up, they're so tired of it all that they're going to start going after accounts, targeting accounts that are playing alongside cheaters.
Wow, splash damage.
That's right.
Here's some shit right here. You ready for this? U.S. judge has dismissed the Nintendo Joy-Con drift lawsuit because the users agreed to the end user license agreement, which disallows lawsuits.
I
Oh,
knew it. I
yeah,
knew
that's
that
some
was going to
crap.
get us.
I mean, you didn't read the EULA before you started playing your Switch?
Where is the EULA for the Joy-Con? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, does it mention? It probably mentions hardware in it, I'm sure.
I would love to see what I would love. I'm sure it says in this
I'm
article.
gonna find
but
that judge. I'm gonna punch him in the face.
This is the speed run. I mean, the judge is just doing what legally is in the legal.
I don't care. I want to punch the law in the face.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
punch
fight the
Nintendo's
law.
lawyers. Fight
And I'm
Shigeru
sure they're-
Miyamoto. Like he'll fight you.
Nobody's ever fought the law. I'm sure it'll go well.
Yeah. So also, speaking of people who fight things, YouTuber Logan Paul's CryptoZoo NFT game is a scam, and now he's got a uniquely generated class action lawsuit all to himself.
Nice.
Nice.
Stored on the blockchain, so it'll never go away.
The whole guy is a scam. Speaking of scams, Dragon Age Dreadwolf footage leaks and shows God of War style combat.
Oh, what do you Dragon Age guys think about that?
That's a
Dragging it from my cold dead hands.
Dragon Age is about making a character that could be a healer, or could be a magic guy, or could be an axe wielding.
What if you
guy
can
that
heal
throws-
the crap out of someone's face?
Just wait until EA gets acquired, like I predicted, and then it'll all change.
What if they get acquired by Sony Santa Monica.
Dude, what if?
They're going to get embraced.
Kratos himself is going to acquire EA.
Boy, the Last of Us TV show episode 5 is airing early to avoid the Super Bowl, which is this Sunday. So I think it's airing on Friday night, something like that.
Oh, weird.
So, yeah. So just FYI, you're not going to have to.
Is it going to be the last of them?
The last of them.
How many episodes are in that series? Are there 9 or 10?
Something like that, plus a second season. I've been watching it. It's pretty good.
I have only watched one episode. My daughter and I are watching it together, and she's busy.
I love a Sunday night prestige HBO drama, but come on, Last of Us.
It's fine.
You
but I will
should
say
watch
this.
it. It's good.
It's more Uncharted.
Let me say something that I
You're
think is really critical and important. All of the new additions that they've made, I think, are not better. They're not improvements. I'll just say that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Finally, in the news of the whack and the news of the we don't care, Nick Offerman, who is in Last of Us, he hasn't played a video game in 25 years. The last one he played was Banjo-Kazooie. We talked about it.
I just loved hearing Nick Offerman say Banjo-Kazooie.
What
what a trip. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
What a fake gamer
Here's the thing,
actor.
though. He said that it dominated his life to such he had to get all of those jiggies. He had to get all of the jiggies.
Did he call them jiggies?
I know he didn't, but I know he knows. But you know what? Nick Offerman knows what jiggies are. If you were to meet Nick Offerman, you could ask him, "Hey, did you get all the jiggies?" And he would know exactly.
Does he know the name of the witch villain?
Gruntilda? Is that her name?
Gruntilda?
Gruntilda.
I think
Oh my
that's right.
gosh, what is wrong? You guys know all that? I've never played a Banjo-Kazooie game. Sorry, not sorry.
Well, there you
Or
go.
a ukulele video game.
Wait, does Nick Offerman, is he waiting for Banjo 3?
He says that it dominated his life so much that he's not going back to video games ever. It's the last video game he's going to play.
Wow.
That's it.
Wow.
It's really
Well,
is.
what does he know?
What a
Professional
world- what a-
actor guy.
What an act to hang your hat on, you know?
That's right. Going. I know. I just love it that that's the game. Like, who would have guessed? Who would have guessed?
I think
I
he's
knew
got it right, though. I mean, all of us should have pieced out of this hobby decades ago.
Back in the late
After like Mega Man 2 or something. We should have just
Yeah.
been like, that's it.
Leave
Well,
at the
video
top.
games peaked with Mega Man 2, honestly.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Well, guys, we're going to peace out here with the Game Bytes Show podcast. I want to thank you very much for making it to the end of the show with us, especially on our new feed. If you have friends who are podcast listeners, let them know that we are now on every podcast service available: Spotify, Podbean, iTunes, Google,
Stitcher.
Not quite
Stitcher.
Google yet.
Amazon
quite-
Music.
Amazon Music. We're there. You can search Game Bytes Show anywhere on the
Acast.
internet and get there.
Bcast.
That's right. You can also-
Cast.
Hey, and let us know what y'all think about our cool new thing I've been doing on the YouTube chat.
Oh yeah, getting like little timestamps and stuff.
Yeah,
That's right. So-
I've been linking the articles that we're discussing and the games we've been
Wonderful.
playing.
What the deuce?
Dude,
That's right.
it's
We're a
kind of cool.
value-added show
Why didn't
here.
I do that the whole time?
A value-added show. It's
so
only
Because it
going to
requires
happen when
effort,
Jared's
just like
present.
moving the podcast to a new service. It requires effort.
Yeah, a little bit. At least
You
for
know
a
what?
week or two.
When the going gets tough, we crank everything up to 11 and do everything as hard as we possibly
And
can.
then burn out and give up.
Our social media game's still very weak, though. You can follow us on Twitter. You can find us at Game Bytes Show on Twitter. You can also find us individually. I'm at Jeremy_Lamont.
I'm on Twitter too at Legrand.
I am technically still on Twitter at
This would have
Countdown.
been a time to make a break, but it's like no podcast ever ends
have
without
a-
doing it. We've got to do this.
Do we have
I-
a month? Do we have
Listen.
a Mastodon? I got a Mastodon account.
I've got a Mastodon account.
I
Follow these
tweeted
guys on
for the
Mastodon. Whatever. Tell people where to go.
But somebody had already taken at Legrand, so I'm not going to use
You're
it.
out.
Oh,
Mine
yeah.
is here's the thing on Mastodon, but I couldn't tell you what server I'm on.
There's a
It's like
server.
Mastodon.social.net or some I don't know, something like that.
It's like the
I don't
Final
even know how it
Fantasy
works.
14 of social media accounts. Like, what server am I on? I don't know.
Yeah, because your username is like at server. But I think you can search across multiple servers. I bet I haven't even using it a whole lot.
What? How does this work?
Yeah, exactly.
So here's the real way you get a hold of us is you go over to Discord.
Discord.
GameByteShow.com, which now will take you to our Podbean page, where you can find the link to our active Discord server. Open invite there, always. And of course, those of you watching us live know better than anybody. Find us over at youtube.com/GameByteShow and watch us live. Get pre-show content, maybe post-show content. Content. That's what we're all about.
Content. Be content.
Be
with
content
the
with our
Just be
content.
happy, guys. Jeez.
Yeah, that's right. That is going to do it, though, for this episode of your Game Bytes Show podcast. And like I said, spread the word. We're new and improved, but still somehow the same as we ever were. Doing it all for you. Thank you so much for joining us, everybody, and we will see you next week.
Later, I guess.
Be seeing you.
Bye.
Bye.